Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Julius DeBerry from Majestic Studios, and I got a great video for you guys today. Woke up this morning and checked my Google feed, and to my surprise, Korg has dropped a new flagship. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Korg dropped a new flagship. Let's see what this is about. All right, yo. So don't get everything mixed up. This is not a new flagship workstation, but Korg dropped a new flagship stage piano. Now, I'm typically not the stage piano type of guy. I would rather have like the flagship workstations, Chronos, Montage, Motifs, stuff like that. For some reason, as I started to look through the specs of what was offered through this keyboard, I thought it was a pretty interesting piece of equipment. So I decided I wanted to do a video just to show you guys, what my thoughts are initially from the announcement of this keyboard. I think it could be beneficial to some people if you're in the stage piano market. I do think this is going to be aimed in a very specific genre of keyboard players. This keyboard could definitely be seen as a direct competitor to some other keyboard companies that make stage pianos. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go forward. So this new keyboard that Korg has released is called the Grandstage X. So Korg has already had a Grandstage piano that they have had on the market for a while, but this is the X. So this is like the version 2 of that keyboard, and they have made some pretty significant changes as it relates to the way the keyboard looks. Specifically, I think the body style is definitely very unique. The way the back ends are rounded off, almost like the some parts of the Korg Nautilus, the way they made the back of that keyboard look. It is very interesting it's very interesting the way they chose to design it. Like, here's a really good picture of it. I mean, to me, it almost looks like a really nice piece of furniture. Like, it could go into like a contemporary setup, like in a house or something like that. This is just a really nice looking board. It's different, I'll say. Really sleek and elegant looking. I don't know if this is going to be a keyboard that people are going to gig with, or if they're going to just set it up in a studio, in a venue, and just leave it there. It looks really nice. It looks really nice. So we're going to dive in a little bit. Kind of just, I don't want to do a lot of reading, but I want to talk about some things specifically that to me stood out as far as this keyboard is concerned. So one of the first things I want to bring up is the fact that this keyboard has 7 sound engines built in. So now everyone is starting to, use that terminology. I don't know if Korg and the Oasis or the Chronos, if they were kind of on the forefront of that as far as engines and keyboards are concerned. I know the EX5 had some various engines that they had within their keyboard as well. But something with this number of engines may be unique to Korg. The Chronos had 9. This one has 7 engines. And so when you look at engines, that is not just something that you would consider as far as sounds are concerned, because all of the stage pianos, they have sounds in them, and they have pianos, they have electric pianos, they have organs, they have synthesizer sounds, they have different rompler type sounds that we would use in our keyboards. But to say there is an engine, to me, that indicates that there is something specifically designed to create specific types of sounds. And Korg is advertising in this keyboard right here in the very first paragraph. Meet the Grandstage X, Korg's flagship stage piano, now completely redesigned with 7 inspiring sound engines. So let's go in and take a look at what engines they decided to put in the keyboard. So the first ones, or the first two, are going to be their premium piano and electric piano. So this is the SGX2 and EP1. So these are engines that we're familiar with. They were in the Kronos, they're in the Nautilus, and they have those pianos that Korg is now known for. Those really high quality pianos that we love, that we like. And this says the Grandstage X features 13 main pianos, including 6 well-known grand pianos selected from the German, Italian, Japanese. So those are all pianos that were in the Nautilus keyboard, and as well as the Kronos. Okay, it also says other piano sounds include the familiar upright and small grand piano. So the upright piano that I mentioned in one of the videos about Nautilus made it into here. The upright sample that was in the Nautilus was not in Kronos. I know that gospel guys are pretty interested in having upright pianos in their keyboards, upright piano samples in their keyboards. So this could be something that if you don't have a Nautilus and you're in the market for a stage piano, this may be something that you would look into because it has upright samples in the keyboard. It also said it has the Oasis piano, and also the legendary SG1D Korg stage piano sample, as well as the M1 piano. So that M1 piano is, everybody knows that sound when you hear it. I don't have a sample of it to play right now, but everyone knows that piano when you hear it, and they have included that in this keyboard as well. All right, so we also have the EP1. We know that electric piano engine that was also in the Kronos and the Nautilus, that's made it into this keyboard. And Korg's EPs sound great. They're super creamy, super buttery, and I don't think that anything will change as far as that's concerned with this board. They also included the CX3 engine, which is really cool. The CX3 engine, the organs, so they have the CX3, the Vox, and the FC1 are all built in here. Those are 3 different organ type of engines, so you can go in there and tweak your organs to make them sound the way you need them to sound as it relates to whatever genre or whatever style songs you're playing. All right, so Korg has also included, it says, a diverse range of sound options from AL1 and HD1. So AL1 is the AL1 engine that is also, of course, it's in Nautilus and Kronos. And the HD1 is the Rompler engine. So the AL1 is it says they have analog modeling. So it's an analog modeled synth that they have also included in this keyboard. And the HD1 is going to be your Rumpler sound. So that's your bread and butter stuff, your sample based sounds like strings, brass, claves, harpsichords. And it says there's also a 6-step multi-sampled electric grand piano, and the FM electric piano are also included in this engine. Like I said, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that they included 7 sound engines, and I think that's super cool that it's not just going to be a stage piano where you select piano, you select electric piano, you select organ, but you can actually go in here and maybe do some type of sound design, some level of editing as far as the sounds are concerned, because those engines are built inside. That is what I'm assuming. I don't know that for sure, but when I hear a company advertise sound engines, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, something that's kind of cool to do when a keyboard is announced is to look at the pictures and see what they show you based on the pictures. Now, they don't always show you everything because there may be some features and things that they kind of want to keep hidden or keep as a surprise, but you can look at the pictures and see what you can find or what you can assume or what you can think based on the pictures. And something that I thought was really cool and the pictures that I saw was on this picture right here. You see right in the output section, there is an XLR out. And I thought that was super cool. So what I did from there was I went to the specifications page and I looked to see in the output section if they mentioned anything about it. And sure enough, in the audio output section, they have XLR outputs on this keyboard. That's super cool. People are starting to see this as a benefit to have XLR outputs. You can have balanced outputs with TRS with just regular 1/4" cables, but it is really cool to see the XLR outputs directly on a keyboard. Your mileage may vary as far as that's concerned, but I know the Roland Phantom Flagship has that. The Montage does not have it. So this is really cool to see Korg now implementing XLR outputs in their keyboards, and just, that will be something super cool to see them do going forward with any keyboards that they may release in the future. So I think this is really dope, really dope. We have balanced XLR outputs on the back of the keyboard. So I thought that was really cool. All right, so let's continue through here. Let's look at some of the interface. All right, so this next section says a stunning design worthy of flagship status. The Grandstage X features a distinctive design that is instantly recognizable and destined to become iconic. The body is made of painted aluminum, and the sides are made of perforated metal. So that goes to show that the keyboard is not plasticky. So it's not going to have a plastic feel to it. And that was something else that I saw in the specifications. This keyboard weighs 55 pounds. So in comparison, the Korg Nautilus 88 was 50 pounds. And Korg's SV stage piano is 44 to 45 pounds. So kind of in comparison, this might be heavy. I don't know how people weigh or factor in weight as far as keyboards are concerned, or what you think is heavy, but 55 that's not light, definitely. So that may be something that you guys want to consider if this is something that you're into, or if this is something that you're considering purchasing. But with that said, for something to be roadworthy, it doesn't need to be plastic. And if it's plastic, it's going to weigh less, but it's also going to be a little bit more fragile as it relates to, loading in and out of cars or trucks or whatnot. So the fact that this chassis is made of what it's made of, I think that's a good thing. All right, so this next thing that they wanted to highlight for us was the key touch slider for instant expressive control. So when I read this, I was thinking that it was one thing, but then I read it again and it kind of light bulb went off as to what this is. They have this thing called key touch control. So you can turn this parameter off and you can use this slider to instantly change how the keyboard feels, the key bed feels for you. So like what I'm assuming, like it says simply adjusting the slider gives you the sensation of playing a more or less sensitive key bed. So does that mean that I have weighted keys and the keys feel weighted? So when I'm playing piano sounds, it responds the way a piano key bed is supposed to feel. But if I want to play an organ sound or a synthesizer sound, I can go in and initiate this key touch and change this slider, and now the keyboard's going to respond differently. The keys may still feel the same, they may still feel heavy, but it's going to respond differently. And I think that's a benefit. So people can kind of utilize this key bed to play not just, piano sounds, since it is a stage piano, but they can also utilize this key bed to play synthesizer sounds or organ sounds, and it feel comfortable for you playing those type of sounds from this weighted key bed. So I think that's a really cool thing that they added. In this picture here, we also see the unison control, which is, we've heard about that with analog synths. When you turn that unison on, it kind of thickens up the sound. I'm not exactly sure what goes on in the background. You can use this unison feature and the slider to thicken up or make your sound a little fatter or bigger. All right, so that's something else that we want to keep our eye out on. Also in this picture, we see that they have a rhythm section, and it says chord progression, key, setup, play and stop, bass, mute, and tempo. So I was when in the article that I was reading, it said something along the lines of not an arranger isn't what it said, but an arranger like feature where you can have the keyboard with the bass line and drums playing behind you like in an accompaniment style, and it will actually follow your chord progression. So I think that is super cool. I'm sure more information will come out about that feature pretty soon, but that's pretty dope for you guys that are into arrangers or having kind of a backing band behind you while you're playing. All right, so right here in part control, this is something else that we can see and kind of consider based on the pictures. Part control, so this may be an easy way for us to split or layer the keyboard. So you have a main button, a layer button, and a split button. So these are the faders for whatever your main sound. So when you're in your programming area of your keyboard, you have a main section, which is the whatever the main sound is that you're playing. So you're playing a piano sound, and that's your main sound. This can be your volume fader for that main sound. Now let's say you want to layer some strings on top of it. Then once you initiate this layer button, now you have access to a second layer of sounds that you can add on top of whatever your main sound, and this is the fader for that. Now if you want to split the keyboard and now you want to put some bass out on the left side, you just hit this split button and it will probably add a third sound into the entire key bed, and it'll be split off on the left side. I wonder if they'll allow you to change the split point on the keyboard as to exactly what key, what exact pitch that split happens, and even things like changing the octave control and stuff like that as far as the sound that's on the split side. But that's what is done here. You push the split button and now you have fader control of the volume for that layer as well. So 3 parts as far as splitting is concerned, splitting and layering. I can't say for certain that you can only do 3 sounds, but we do see here that we can at least do 3. The main, the initial layer, and then your split. All right, so right here in this next section, it says the right hand can be layered with piano and strings, and the left hand can be layered with bass and your choice of bass add-on. So I wonder what bass add-on means, but cool either way. I thought this was super dope too. It says infuse warmth into your sound with new tube. So when I saw tube in the article that I was looking at initially, my mind immediately went back to the Korg Triton Extreme. And that Korg Triton Extreme had a little tube that you could turn on, and it added something special and something different to your sounds. So Korg has brought the new tube into this Grandstage X. It says the analog tone function provides an analog sound effect that can only be achieved with the tube-driven sound. The on and off button can be used to adjust the effect, and the knob can be used to adjust the amount of effect so you can find the sound that you like best. So they've added a feature in the board called analog tone, and it says new tube. So what the analog tone is going to do is just going to add a little tube-driven sound into your keyboard. You turn this feature on by using the button that says analog tone, and then you can just turn this knob to increase or decrease the amount of the effect that you hear within your sound. So that's pretty cool. Again, they've taken it up a notch as far as their stage pianos are concerned, and this is offering something that they didn't have in their stage pianos before. So they're trying to allow people to shape their sound a bit more, to tailor it to their taste and what they want to get out of their keyboard as it relates to the new tube, with the new tube and analog tone that they've added, and also the unison parameter that they've added as well. There is an onboard EQ right on the front panel that you can turn on or off using a button. So if you need to tweak your EQing of your sounds or your overall keyboard on the fly, you can just push this EQ button, and you got the high, mid, and low that you can go in. and tailor your sound to what you need for the venue, or whatever you're doing as far as your performance is concerned at that time. They also have onboard effects. They've got hall, stage, room, spring, shimmer, delay, mod delay, and tape echo. These are reverb and delays that they have built into the keyboard, so you can turn them on, and then you got the amount of the effect that you want to put into your sound just by using this fader right on the front panel of the keyboard. I think that this keyboard is going to be a good piece to insert into the market. I know people have been wondering what Korg was going to do next, and they have shown us. Like I said, this morning I woke up, checked my phone, and saw on my Google feed Korg had released this keyboard. I know NAMM is right here, right around the corner, and they've made this announcement already. So I think this is a great sign for what's to come. I'm excited about NAMM coming up, and just what everybody is going to be dropping as far as new equipment is concerned, new technology as it relates to audio. And I think this Grand Stage is something for you guys to maybe get excited about, especially if you are into stage pianos. This is not a workstation. This does not have a sequencer that they've mentioned, at least at this point. So it's just a performance tool it's a stage piano, so that means it's going to have great piano sounds. We know what these pianos sound like because we have access to them via our Nautilus and our Kronos. Some of those piano sounds have made their way into this keyboard. And they have piano samples on their page. You guys can check those out. And I think that this is pretty cool, what they've introduced to us. And I want to know what you guys think. So leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this keyboard. Are you excited? Are you disappointed? Do you typically play stage pianos? And if you don't, still, does this keyboard spark your interest? Is this something you can see yourself playing? So let me know down in the comments. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out all the content. We got plenty of stuff out here for you guys. If you love keyboards, this is a great channel for you to watch. Take care. Thanks for watching.